This is our Wednesday night channeling, number 261. Yes. Let's have a quiet time before we start. As we relax our bodies, let's relax the mind and feel peace. And bring our full attention to this point of consciousness and be here now. Let us fill this room to overflowing with God's love and see this circle as a circle of light. And the light is getting brighter and brighter. Those higher beings from divine love and light are reaching down to us as we reach up to make the contact. Many others are gathering from other dimensions to be with us. And we welcome them with God's love. Let us send God's love into the contact tonight, into all of those here and all those who are not here. And as we move into this contact, realize that each one here is as much a part of the contact as the one who speaks, where you are lending your life force to this circle of light that is making the contact. And we're all doing this in love. Thank you, Father. For those who are new, we start with the writing, and it's channeling also. And then we let the others talk. Our title tonight is called The Connecting Link. The connecting link is life. You are life. I am life. All is life. You are the connecting link. The connecting link to all life, in the whole of life, in the whole universe. Divine love is a substance that life is created from. From the heart of the Creator we call God. Could you but know the power of your connecting link with your Heavenly Father? Could you but know the strength of His love for you? Could you but know? To know is to demonstrate. To know is to live the life of your divine being. Greetings, my dear ones. This is Don, your doorkeeper to these realms of love and light. It is such a joy to have this privilege to be your doorkeeper, to open the door to your hearts, to these divine love and light realms. I tell you, the connection that you have is much, much greater than you understand. But before I go too far, Eloah is here to bring the class for you. God bless you, my dear ones. It is a joy to hear the siren and to hear the vibrations of your love. Did you know that your vibrations of love and light are just as strong and as powerful as that siren? Could you but know the strength and the power that you hold in your being? Could you but hear it? Could you but feel the music that flows through you when you are in tune and in harmony with the universe? Could you but make that connecting link more than you do? You do make this connecting link sometimes, and sometimes you hold it for a while. As you learn to make this connection with the heart of God, with His divine love, as you learn to rule out the so-called physical world and do away with even having to talk about it. It isn't necessary. The world is as it is. Are you of the world, or are you of God and His love? When you can set aside the world and the conditions of the world, the things that are happening in the world, you know about them, yes, but you do not give them any power of your thought. You give your power of thought to divine love and to God and to the divine being that you are. I tell you, could you know 1/10 of this power, you would never turn back until you were filled with God's light, until His divine love was like a waterfall equal to your greatest waterfall on the planet, and much, much more that flows through you. His love for you is so great that you could not even begin to imagine it. And it never wavers, my dear ones. There is no condemnation in God. He only loves you. When you think of yourself and your connecting link to life and to God, which is life, think of this love that God has for you. Think of His divine being that you truly are. You truly are the divine being of God, for you are made from His substance, and you live and move and have your being in His being. Had you thought of this? You live and move and have your being in the being of God, for there is nothing else but God. There are many things that appear to be what you think of as wrong on this physical plane. But when you give up the concept of duality and realize that your physical world is just a play on a stage, and realize that you truly are the being of God, you are the substance of His love. Now you're playing a role, and you're going through certain demonstrations and experiences to learn and to grow. What would you be? Would you be of the world, or would you be of your divine being? I know your answer, but what price are you willing to pay? All the gold and wealth of your planet could not buy 1 ounce or 1 second of the power of God's divine love. The price, my dear ones, is what you give value to. And what you give value to, you give thought to. Thought is a creative force. It is the creator. You choose each thought. The Father has given you the freedom to do this. You choose how you will feel, the mood you will have, the attitude, the desires, the emotions that you let run rampant sometimes. You do choose each one of these, whether it is conscious or unconscious or subconscious, it matters not. You choose it. So, what price would you pay? The price, my dear one, is giving up the world as you think of it. Giving up the attitudes of fear. When you can turn loose of all fears and replace it with divine love, then you are free. These are words, my dear ones, but until you learn to demonstrate these words, until you learn to live them in all kinds of conditions that you find yourself in on this physical plane, you know not the power of God's love. You know not the strength of His ability to lift you up if you let Him. He has many helpers, such as this self that is talking to you, and many, many others. You are surrounded with God's helpers. You are never alone. You would be surprised at how much goes in to, on these upper dimensions, how much planning, how much love, how much thinking for each individual goes in to helping you. We have what you could consider a board meeting, and we get together and talk about the charges that we have and ways that we can help. You see, we want to help you so much more than we can. Why do we not? Because you have the freedom, my dear ones, to choose each thought, to choose each word and each action, and we cannot invade that freedom. But we can be there with you. We can send you God's love. And if you're open for it, and if you're thinking about it, and asking for help, then it is there. It is always there. In your midst, in your heart, and in your mind, if you allow it. Your mind is a receptacle for your thoughts. It is a channel that life works through with a prism of thought to reach these lower dimensions. And whatever you allow into your mind and retain there is how your life is. As you have learned in some of the classes, your thoughts make your life what it is. Your habit patterns of thinking, for the most part. What is the price that you would pay to give up any thought that is less than loving? And I'm speaking of God's love, divine love. Any thought, any feeling, any attitude, any mood. Do you realize how you cling to these negative thoughts? Do you realize that how you allow them to control your life? They are your creations, my dear ones. Now the ethers around you and around this planet are filled with dark negative thoughts. And if they enter your mind, you have allowed them to enter your mind. It is your choice. And when you feel tired, and when you feel pain, when you are sad or a little depressed, it is easy for you to give way to the negativity that is all around you. And this is why it's so important that you pay the price, that you give the value to your true self. This personality that you're wearing in this body, this hang-ups in your mind is not the real you, my dear ones. This is what you identify with most of the time. This is not you. You are a child of God, made in the image and likeness of God. You are filled, overflowing with God's love when you choose to be, but sometimes you do not choose. And as you remember to send God's love and to use God's divine being and his helpers to allow you to move higher in consciousness, then you are giving value to the reality of your being, to your true self. It is not just words, my dear ones. It is truth. Could you but go with us on a journey through the universe to see all the diversity of life? Could you but rise above the physical plane into the dimensions of love and light just above your plane? You would see and feel and know the beauty and the joy and the grandeur of your Heavenly Father just a little bit. When you become quiet, when you listen to your tapes, if you are allowing yourself, you can soar into these dimensions of love and light. When you listen to your tapes, you are doing it for the motive of cleansing yourself, for the most part, and then for the motive of knowing who you truly are. When you go into meditation, you become still. You allow God's being to come forth into your conscious awareness. You allow his love to fill your heart and to know his divine touch. As you know this and as you do it, as you allow yourself to be that divine self, you are living the life. I would like to tell you of one who made an about turn from being almost totally in the world to stepping out of the world. It did not happen overnight. It was almost a year. But this one turned his back on the life that he had lived and the values that he had given. And if he did not succeed in the way that he thought he should when he was in the world so much, he thought of this day as being wasted. But when he awoke to the truth and began to understand, he turned loose of that old life and never looked back. This is one that I speak through tonight. It was his time to do this. It was his time to be the instrument to allow God to work through him, as he's done in many incarnations. He would not want me to say this about him, but I tell you, each one, that you are on your path of light. You are where you are because of the God within you, giving you his love and his helpers that are giving you the guidelines that you need. Be grateful for this and show your gratitude not to any individual, but to God, by living the life, by thinking the thoughts of divine love more than you think the thoughts of the world and what is happening in your world. It really matters not who is governing your world unless he is of God. And I tell you, those leaders of your world, in a few years, the majority will be of God. How many years I cannot say, for everyone has a free will. But there are those entities that are in place and waiting for the opportunity to come forth and show the divine being of God's love, to light up this world. You see, my dear ones, God's love in your sun, in the larger suns beyond it, are now hitting this planet, and the light is getting brighter every day. Everything is increasing, even your crime, even the negativity. God's love will continue to increase, for that is the substance of life. The illusions of negativity will eventually turn back on themselves and be negated through their own destructive force. This does not mean individual expressions of God. It means the negative thoughts, the conditions of your planet. For many, many more than you know are awakening. They're awakening in different ways, but they are awakening. And your planet is moving higher in consciousness every day. Keep pace with your planet and with God's love. Be true to yourself by allowing God to express through you. How do you do this? It all comes back to one thing. Can any of you tell me this one thing? That is true.
Come back to your well, shooting love.
It comes, for your plane, it comes back to one thing. God's love is the answer to all things, is a solution to all problems. But from your point of view, where you are, and what you do with your life, it comes back to the one thing. Any other thoughts about this?
Motive?
I gave you a clue. I'm playing some of Donald's games now.
Comes back to thoughts.
That's correct. Your thoughts are the creative force for you on your plane. Love is the creative force on all dimensions, but from where you come, where you stand, on the physical plane, you choose to think of love or you choose to think of things less than love. So you see, it comes back to this one thing. What you choose to think, what thoughts you allow into your mind. When you decide that you are the master of yourself, then you can choose every thought, word, and deed. You have come a long way, many of you, from where you started when you made the decision. And we commend you for it. We want you to know that we know, and the value that you're giving and the dedication that you're giving to yourself and to life. You see, everything that you give to yourself, you give to life, because you are life. How do you love life? How do you love yourself? If you do not love yourself, my dear ones, how can you love others, and how can you love life? For you are one with all life. You sometimes allow yourself to get caught up in your personalities and think about the past and the things that you think that was not so good. But when you turn loose of this duality concept and allow yourself to realize that there's only this moment and only the thought that dwells in your mind is the one that matters. The past is dead unless you give it power through thought. For life force follows thought. Whatever you give thought to, you give life to. And by giving thought to divine love, you're giving thought to the answer. And it matters not where you are or what the conditions are around you, my dear ones. You must learn sometime in some incarnation to demonstrate, as your master teacher did when they were nailing him on the cross, and be able to say, as he did, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." He said this aloud so it would be recorded. You need not say it aloud to show others. All you need to do is think it and know the truth. And if someone goes against you in some way or appears to, really no one can go against you unless you open the door to it. But if this appears to happen, all you need to do is send love into this individual and to yourself and to the situation, and know that you have opened the door in some way and asked for guidance, asked for instruction. It's always there. Donald meant to tell you that when he was leaving his room, the thoughts came to him that he was forgetting something. But he was preoccupied and didn't remember his hearing aids. And he continued on. Realize, my dear ones, when these impressions come to you, to give them enough credit and to be open enough to allow this connecting link to come through to you, for it is always there. Many want to go to a psychic to get a reading, to hear what their guide or teacher looks like, to hear what they have to say through a medium. I tell you, my dear ones, you are the medium. You are the connecting link. Those images, those words are within you, and all you need to do is ask and believe. As a man believeth in his heart, so is he. Take those words and expound on them. Let us say anything that you believe, truly believe. That's what it means in your heart. Not just things you might fantasize or think about, but everything that you believe is possible for you. Everything is possible for you to make it come true, to make it where you can demonstrate it in your life. This is where the belief comes in. And when you do demonstrate it, when you repeat the demonstration, then you know. Then you know, my dear one.
Nothing.
As God's love fills you, as His heart beats with your heart, I want you to think about this for a moment. To be in tune and harmony with the life force of the universe is to be at one with all life. And this little exercise of using your inner image to think of your heart beating with God's heart can help you to reach in and demonstrate that oneness with the whole of life. The exercise of using that creative force, the imagination, to think of your heart beating with God's heart is to know that you are one with all life and that you are in tune and in harmony with all that is. As you feel this, as you practice it, then it becomes a reality if you continue with it. Reality, my dear ones, is what you make it. What is real for one individual is not always real for another. Each of you have a different reality because you are individual expressions of life. And I tell you, the God within you can help you to demonstrate the reality of your being as you move through this incarnation by allowing Him to enter your thoughts, by allowing His love to be your guiding force, by allowing your heart to beat with His heart. As you do this, you tune in to that divine being that you are, and you begin to feel God's love. You begin to know it within the center of your being. And as you do, then you begin to demonstrate it. How is this possible in a world that you live in? that seems to be becoming more and more negative, more dangerous, and all the other things that you might think of. My dear ones, these are props. They are not real. They are illusion. They are props that you have placed there yourself to give you something to push against. When you hear the news and all the negative things that are happening, maybe in your own neighborhood or close to your neighborhood, know, my dear ones, that you are not that physical being. You're not the personality. You are divine. And until you know this in the deepest warp and woof of your being, until you feel it, then you are in the world more than you are of God. This is not a lesson of criticism, and I do not mean it to be so. It is pointing out to you where you can firm up your understanding. Allow yourself to firm up the understanding that you have and build upon it. Build that foundation strong and solid within yourself. What is the ingredients of the foundation within you? Do you still not know? What is the ingredients, the foundation within you?
Nope.
Thought.
How many times has your...
Understanding.
That is correct. How many times have you been asked this and come up blank? Now, why is that so much of a foundation that holds up your spiritual structure? What do you understand? Do you understand the things of the world, the physical facts? Is it going to hold you up?
No.
No. But when you understand that you are divine, that you are a divine being, and it matters not what shape your body is, it matters not what you've done in the past or how many hang-ups that your mind has, it matters what you do this moment with your thoughts. Because each thing that you do and each word that you do has to be preceded by a thought. And when you learn to think loving thoughts by practicing sending God's love many times through the day, practicing saying to yourself, I love you. Look in the mirror often and say, I love you. Do not look at that shape of your body or what you think is not so good about your physical appearance. That is not the real you, my dear ones. Look into your eyes and see the eyes of God. Look into your heart and know that your heart is beating with the heart of God. Learn to love. Begin with yourself. Love every part of you, for you are divine. This class tonight has been one of reminding you of the truth. And how many times have we reminded you? And how often do you remember? This is a question to ask yourself. Many of you are doing very well in your growth. Most of you are moving forward. I would say all in this room in the physical are moving forward, and most in the balcony section that are listening and heeding the words are moving forward. How fast do you want to go? How much do you want to hold on to the physical? This is a question that you must ask. In your class a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, someone reminded you that the adrenaline is a habit. It's a high that you've gotten used to. And the adrenaline doesn't flow unless you're frightened. How much do you want to hold on to that? How much do you want to demonstrate God's love in your thoughts, in your words, and in your life? Let us pause and let you be a part of this conversation tonight. Feel free to speak your thoughts, to ask questions, and to be open.
Why do you speak of understanding? You mean to live the understanding, do you?
This is true. If you have poured the ingredients of understanding in your foundation and it is weak, it is like some of the contractors who are cheating and they do not put enough cement or the right kind of mix, and the buildings fall down. You have heard of this, have you not?
Yes.
Yes. And so it is with your understanding. If your understanding is not solid, it is not, shall we say, strong enough that when you come up against a negative, so-called negative situation or a condition that tests your mettle, that you can stand firm on your understanding of truth and flinch not and remain to love, remain to think love, feel love. This is the test. And it matters not how often you fail, my dear ones. This is not the measuring rod. The measuring rod is your motive and how you use God's love and how often you do it. Never, never condemn yourself or feel guilty when you stumble. Always remember that you are the only one who ever condemns you. God does not. We do not. If anyone on your physical plane does, that's their problem, not yours, unless you take it unto yourself and accept it. Does this help your understanding, my dear?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. The strength of your understanding is the strength of your foundation. And when you first begin, maybe your understanding will not be that strong. Maybe it is strong in some areas and not so strong in other areas. That does not matter. You have all eternity to build that strong foundation. But do you really want to spend eternity on these lower levels, or even another lifetime or 10 lifetimes? It is always, my dear ones, up to you. No one else can make these decisions for you. Are there other thoughts or questions this evening?
every morning I have been going through a ritual of asking the God force within me to come forth and guide me this day. And I try to apply every minute, every second, everything I learn here.
Yeah.
Driving the automobile down the road, you can relax and let go of your consciousness and go within and bring forth the God force to help you wherever you're going. And it just has a tremendous effect upon my life and has changed it.
Your physical is still the same, but your thoughts are different, are they not?
They are. Yes.
And your thoughts create a different level of consciousness. And this gives you peace of mind and physical relaxation. And this enables you to tune in to those higher dimensions and to allow your helpers from those higher dimensions to make contact with you.
I have made a promise to myself to face that which is in front of me always. And it has also helped too. So many times we do not face things that are presented by the other side to us at that time, and we may miss an opportunity.
Yes. When you run away from something, it is all right if it is something that you cannot handle. But when you get that foundation, the strength of that foundation, strong and solid, then you can stand firm and face whatever comes your way. But never, never feel guilty if you do not. This works against you so much. This is one of the most destructive things that you have is those who are trying, who are moving forward on the path of light, is to feel guilty or self-condemnation. This is the largest stumbling block of those who are making the effort. Many others feel guilty because their churches have taught them to feel guilty. But I'm talking about those like you, this circle, and those in the balcony who are making the effort to change their consciousness. You're not yet perfect. If you were, you would not be on this dimension. Or you would be somewhere holding a class or working in some way in God's kingdom vineyard. So wherever you are, that's where you are. Accept it and accept yourself and love yourself where you are, no matter where you think that is. I tell you each one that you're just a short distance away from being a master. You truly are. If you can believe this, if you can accept it, and if you can learn to make that connecting link with that divine being that you are, then you are the master of yourself and the master of your world and your universe. Are there other thoughts or questions? God's divine love is the key to all things. Whatever you do, my dear ones, do it with love, divine love. If you slip, catch yourself quickly and send love into it and cancel out those thoughts and feelings and turn your back on them and start using the power that is within you. Truly, my dear ones, you are all-powerful and all-wise because you are God's. Unrealized, yes, but you truly are God's. And when you awaken, fully awaken to this truth, there's nothing that is impossible for you to do. This is in your hands now. And what keeps you from being able to do it is what you give value to, what thoughts you give in your mind, allow entry. When you give full value to the divine being that you are, and truly believe in yourself, and believe in life, and believe in God, and that is all the same, all one, then you are demonstrating that which you truly are. And the more that you do this, the more power-filled that you become, the more loving you become, and the more godlike that you are. Are there other thoughts or questions this evening? Your love in this circle, my dear ones, is reaching out much, much farther than you think. You're coming together in one accord. It is a very powerful thing. And I tell you, each time that you do this, you raise your consciousness. You do not have to come to this place or this circle in the physical to do this. All you need to do is to remember this circle and think of this circle, and you are in it, in thought. And thought is the creative force, and you are just as powerful when you are seemingly alone in the world as you are this moment. Take these vibrations of love with you. Take the feeling of love that you feel when you come here to these sessions and live it as you go out into the world. You are loved so dearly by so many that you know not of. God bless you each one, and good evening.
Thank you for your help.
God, thank you.
Like coming back to another world when I open my eyes. Well, what are the thoughts of being impressed on me now is that what do you bring to this circle with me when you come? What thoughts, what questions, what feelings?
What do we bring?
Asked. Besides your physical body.
Okay, we bring our entire collective consciousness.
Are you aware of it? Are you thinking about it? When you're driving here and you walk to the door, what do you bring?
Hope.
Hmm?
Hope. Hope of a higher understanding.
Yeah.
Be able to reach God's love.
A desire to gain understanding and live the understanding.
World wisdom. Love and light.
Hopefully a preparedness.
That's good. How do you prepare yourself?
How do I prepare myself? Well, every week when I come, I consciously bring light and love to myself. I try to raise my own vibrations as high as I can to prepare myself to listen to the message and to understand the message. so that when I come in, I feel that I am ready to absorb whatever I hear and whatever it's almost like an osmosis of the vibrations. I try to prepare myself that way.
Since this is my first time here, I was just concentrating on not getting in the right driveway.
You're just getting your physical. That's a good answer.
My first time to the head dryer too.
One of the first things to remember, even before you send God's love, is ask God to cleanse you, or to send God's love and to cleanse you of all past negation. Then you start from a clean slate. And I do this even when I sit down to send love to repertoire of all the things I send love to. My mind wanders off every once in a while, and if it does, I send God's love to cleanse me of all past negation and move on to the next thing. And I do this often through the day. And it makes a big difference.
And I'm always conscious that God is with me. Always. Especially in the car. And yeah, I try to do that in the day, in the morning, right? To ask for cleansing of all past negation and present negative.
Well, they have to be past. You know, if you're thinking of cleansing yourself, that's a present.
And can you ask for the future negative to be cleansed?
Is what to think of being negative.
Yeah, that would be creative.
If you prepare for the now, you are prepared.
Yeah, I did. A few days even before the class, I start preparing for it by sending love into the class and into this myself to be an open channel, and then to each one that's here and each one that's out here, and to the minds of each of you who are going to hear this message, to be open and receptive, and to your helper on the invisible side who are here with you, helping you. Because each one of you are different and your understanding is a little different. And the communication is a little different. But if you take away something, then you can. And it should be the same with your work, whatever you're doing. One of the things that Alberta taught me, she's taught me many things, this my ex-wife, is that God is your employer. And she has always thought this way. She was a Catholic in the Second World War in lives. And she met somebody else that vibration for her. And we decided she was going to come back after war. And she always thought of God as her employer. And she'd always gave a full measure and more, whatever she was doing. And truly, it is God in your employer, because that's the source of all that is. The one source. And on the year she started out at $80 a week, high sister, secretary, or something. And then the year's time, she was vice president over 21 vice president, and this multimillionaire right next to him, making a huge salary, great bonus, all kinds of expenses.